Thank you, Presiding Officer. It's actually really nice to follow Brian Whittle for this debate this afternoon, because he has got a lot to contribute with his direct experience in sport. And for me, as a member of the Health and Social Care and Sport Committee, I am quite happy to speak in this debate about our report, and I want to add my thanks to everyone who provided input for our committee, including our clerks. And a lot of the points from the report have been well rehearsed by members this afternoon, but the one thing I think we all agreed on is that more participation and visibility of girls and women in sport is essential. And just as a wee note, on the committee's webpage there's a wee video submission by Daisy Drummond which starts with this stark figure. It says, by the age of 14, girls are dropping out of sport 2 times faster than boys of the same age. And I think it's important to highlight that. And we know the inquiry has emphasised that being physically active is one of the best things that we can do for both physical and mental health. And the Minister, and Willie Rennie, has described how it benefits them individually. And we know that sport and physical activity boost self-confidence and self-esteem, learning skills, socialising and, more importantly, having some fun. Specifically, health issues is something that, as a nurse, I think about when it comes to dealing with issues of preventing heart disease, stroke, diabetes and a number of cancers, as well as playing an important part in helping to maintain a healthy weight and reducing the risk of developing depression even. And the number of women and girls in Scotland participating in sport and physical activity has increased in recent years, but the report shows that we must do more to address the barriers that stop women and girls taking part. Presiding Officer, those who took part in the inquiry identified poor self-confidence and issues around body image as a barrier to participation in sport and physical activity for many girls and women. And one contributor to the committee's call for evidence suggested that the relationship between body image and physical activity is a vicious cycle. The more conscious they feel about their bodies, the less likely they are to take part in physical activity. And many people may be deterred from participating in sport and physical activity because they lack self-confidence or experience negative body images. And others have mentioned that as well. And to combat this, the committee recommended that sporting venues should do more to demonstrate themselves as welcoming and inclusive to participants of all abilities and to offer tailored advice and support to those who may be reluctant. So I'd like to ask the Minister whether any support, such as from Sport Scotland, could be made available to meet this aim. And also crucial to overcoming barriers to self-esteem is leadership and role models. The committee heard that negative attitudes and behaviours by teachers and coaches and a lack of positive role models and women in leadership roles discourages female participation in sport and physical activity. It was clear through the inquiry that men play an important role in increasing female participation in sport, and we heard how it is so crucial for men to demonstrate a real commitment to promoting and encouraging female participation. This also includes through educating male coaches and leaders within their sport about the important role and responsibilities they have in this regard, and to encourage them to demonstrate positive and inclusive behaviours. Presiding Officer, as part of the inquiry, I wrote to 162 local sporting and activity groups across Dumfries and Galloway and the Scottish Borders, and I received a fair few responses. I got 68 responses back. I also visited Wallace Hall Academy in Thornhill to discuss female participation in sport with 6 young women who were sport participants themselves. And from the engagement and responses, a number of key issues were raised, including many specific to our rural area. These include lack of local buses to enable travel to and from venues, the cost of equipment and of membership fees, and some women and girls reported male-dominated clubs as being a barrier. These experiences are replicated by those who participated in the inquiry, so it is useful to see that what's experienced in Dumfries and Galloway and the Scottish Borders is replicated by those who did participate. And in our report, Ewelina Chin from H-Star Scotland affirmed this, and she noted that women who reside in rural places and places that are more deprived experience barriers to participation, not only related to cost, but because either the infrequency of public transport or because of safety concerns related to public transport like nighttime and lone travelling. And in addition, the committee recognised male dominance, particularly for young school-aged girls, and that has been outlined by members as well, talking about the participation in the school grounds. To address this and to provide improved opportunities for girls to take part, the committee called on the Scottish Government, local authorities and schools to work together to develop support and guidance for teachers and playground staff to help ensure equal opportunity. Presiding Officer, while at Wallace Hall Academy, I met with the head teacher, Barry Graham, and then the young women separately involved with sport. I met Kiva, Michaela, Zena, Daisy and Matilda. They were all inspiring young women. They reported that access and availability of funding can be significant barriers to participation. And one of the concerns around this was that often schools, their sporting teams and community clubs often don't know about the funding streams available and that these can be complex to access. So I'd be interested if the Minister would be able to tell us whether more emphasis can be put on advertising the various funding streams available for sports. And I will close there, Presiding Officer, because I'm conscious of the time. Thank you.